So I come to the floor today to honor the life and achievements of Cesar Chavez, to ask my Republican colleagues to put aside their politics and do what is right by a man whose life and legacy deserve the recognition of this nation and one Congress.
Is there objection?
Mr. President,
The senator from Alabama.
reserving the right to object, I would note that the resolution has not come out of Judiciary Committee and that Senator Vitter, who has filed an amendment to the resolution, asks that that amendment be accepted or voted on, which has been not agreed to. The amendment would say a couple of things. One, whereas Cesar Chavez strongly believed in enforcing immigration laws, thereby reducing the deleterious effects of inexpensive labor on the wages of farm workers in the United States, and which was recognized by the Congressional Budget Office in June of 2013 in their report entitled Economic Impact of 744, S744, the Border Security Economic Opportunity and Modernization Act. And he offers this whereas, a second one, whereas Cesar Chavez recognized the importance of a secure southern border with Mexico through citizen participation in the enforcement of immigration laws by encouraging members of the United Farm Workers of America to contact the Immigration and Naturalization Service to report instances of illegal labor. So those were, that not having been accepted, I guess I would ask that that would be accepted. It's at the desk, be agreed to prior to adoption of this resolution. Well,
Does the senator from New Jersey so modify his request?
Reserving the right to object. Mr. President, this is not about Cesar Chavez. This is about immigration. Now, I know that my distinguished colleague has a different view about immigration than I do. I know that he and Senator Vitter, on who he's offering this amendment by, also has a different view. The Senate has spoken on the question of immigration. 67 senators, two-thirds of the Senate, has already sent an immigration reform bill to the House of Representatives. So while we may have different views, that's not the issue of Cesar Chavez. And in my view, it is an injustice to his memory to offer such an amendment, and that's why I will have to object.
Is there objection to the
Mr. President,
Is there objection to the original request?
I would object and would just note that I do have a different view, and on these issues with regard to the impact of S744, had it passed, it would have been adverse to farm workers who are in this country, working hard, need pay raises, and need better job opportunities. And I think these are important parts of Mr. Chavez's career. Seems to me that the senator would be pleased to accept them. But I understand we have a disagreement, and I would yield the floor and express my respect for Senator Menendez and his leadership on the Foreign Relations Committee, and but we disagree on this subject.
Objection is heard.
Mr. President.
The senator from New Jersey.
Mr. President, you know, I have a deep respect for Senator Sessions, but I'll just simply say this is the eighth year in which under some fig leaf, before they could hide to their objection. But this is really a fig leaf. The Senate has expressed itself on immigration reform. This is not about immigration reform. This is about Cesar Chavez. This is about a man who led boycotts across the country to bring to justice the rights of farm workers and of all workers across the land. And there is no bigger supporter, by the way, of immigration reform than the United Farm Workers, which he helped build, create, and today is one of the strongest voices for that immigration reform. So it's really, from my view, shameful that we can pass, you know, commemorative resolutions on some of the most insignificant issues, but on the life of someone who changed the course of this country. For millions of Latinos who understand that life in history and would want to see that life commemorated, that there can be a continuing objection 8 years. And I will keep coming each year to the floor, Mr. President, to make this happen, because at some point it will. And with that, Mr. President, I yield the floor.